Well, thank you very much for staying with us. Sweetie Abochi, I see you're still in the election headquarters mood.
Yeah, I got this yesterday and I had to wear it today, so here I am.
Oh, wait, during the period did you not use
I was
it?
boots on the ground, so I had the tag, the accreditation from the Electoral Commission so that I can get access.
So right away come there, if a feature.
As I did the studio there for foot.
I like the film, like you come there for user. All right, anyway. So here we are, time now for the news review.
Yeah, we do. And our two guests are joining us today, and I was actually looking forward to seeing you both in the studio, Kojo Poku and Wisdom Dogbe. Good morning and welcome to the AM show.
Good morning. Hi, how are you?
I'm fabulous. What happened to you? Starting with Kojo. I was expecting you.
Well, nobody invited me. You know, I'm a high level dignitary. You can't just expect that I pop up unless I'm invited. The day I came to your studio, it was the public that invited me, so I came. Today, nobody has invited me.
It's good to see that you're still in high spirits, Kojo, after, should I say, the conclusion of December 7th election.
I've been around.
Yeah. Kojo, hold on.
Kojo will not allow you to finish a sentence before he wants to come in.
Anyway, Wisdom, what about you? Are you still in the country?
I'm still here. Here. I had planned to be there yesterday, but there was a couple change of plans here and there. But I'm glad to see Kojo. He honored one promise. He said he was going to wear white right after the election.
Why would I not wear white?
Okay, gentlemen.
Why would I? You see, there's a lot that a lot of you don't seem to understand.
What's that?
I mean, what has happened? We went to an election. Ghanaians have made a decision. It's beautiful, right?
All right,
only thing why there's a red. The only thing why there's a red.
I'm only saying.
I mean, Kojo is sounding very, defensive. I mean, let a question be posed.
I'm not defensive. You wouldn't even let me speak. How am I defensive?
You are not letting anybody speak this morning. People start sentences and you're already in there.
I'm going to keep quiet.
4 years, right? It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
No, it's 8 years. It's not 4 years.
I think we should just give Kojo his 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes time to share his thoughts with us this morning. Kojo, your take now.
Well, I thought it was 2 minutes. Why did that mean 1 minute, 1.5 minutes?
And that's 5 seconds gone.
Well, that's fine. I mean, good morning to your cherished viewers. We all went to the election on Saturday. Ghanaians have spoken. The MPP camp, Dr. Bawumia led campaign, did the best, did the most, put out there his policies and why he wants to lead Ghanaians. Majority of Ghanaians who went to the polls, unfortunately, the turnout was very low, decided that they want the country to have a different direction and they want the John Dramani administration back. Well, that's what we practice democracy. So we accept it and we move on. What I really intrigue about is that most of the people who did not understand what we were talking about, that, look, let's have a level of continuity, but not a level of distraction when people tend to say that let's reset. There's a lady who, interestingly, I saw on social media, happy posting a Yuzu, a Yeza, and dancing all over. Then yesterday, I see that same lady posting, oh, it's wrong. It's not fair. They can't do that. Why is NDC tax doing this in Tamahabo? They can't take over the place. And I posted to her and said, look, you see, you guys don't seem to understand what you brought upon yourself. But there's a very simple saying, Konfuboni oti krubebono, otimbi. So we're all going to live in this country and see their decision if they've made. If it's the right decision, we all enjoy it. If it's the wrong decision, look, you don't have the right to complain.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kojo Poku. Time, I guess, will tell. Wisdom, your take now.
Good morning to you and your viewers. There is nothing like continuing the level of corruption that we have seen in this current administration and also the hardship that the average Ghanaian had to endure. So I believe that the Ghanaian public, they have voted well, they voted for their destinies, to reset this nation, to create equal opportunity for all, which is what we'll see. The decisions that will come out from this administration, Kojo will see, and all Ghanaians will see that that is the best direction we have to go as a nation. But I'll say this quickly. I will say that Professor Jane, she has really broken barriers all her life, but becoming the first female vice president is a new high for her and also for our country. It is history, and it will be studied for years to come. I think that her election symbolizes, significant breakthrough in a traditionally male-dominated political arena here in Ghana. And it also challenges long-standing gender norms and stereotypes, and it paves the way for greater or even higher female representation in leadership roles in the nation. And for me, as someone who is a father also to guests, I think this is huge, right? Because we have a female vice president, and she will serve as a powerful role model for women and girls across the country, in fact, across Africa. It demonstrates that women can achieve higher political office here in Ghana, and it also encourages the next generation to pursue more leadership positions, fostering a culture of ambition and possibly, letting the young girls and women know that it is possible to achieve those higher grounds here in Ghana. And recently, Ghana's parliament made some good progress with gender equality and also affirmative action. And so I think that Ghana having a first female vice president, that will certainly encourage more advanced discussions around gender equality and women's rights right here in Ghana.
Okay, thank you so much.
It looks like Mr. Dogbe is the campaign manager for Jane for 2028 because the way he started, let's
make progress.
I have a few comments.
So I'm just a big advocate for women, because you haven't noticed.
Wisdom, in any case, he was on the energy committee of Dr. Bawumia. Why? Is that a crime? There's no crime in that. Let me just make these quick thoughts. One, Kojo talks about NPP thugs. Sweetie, yesterday I completely...
NDC thugs. NDC thugs. Please correct it. NDC thugs.
Yeah, NDC
You can't even mention NDC. Why is that?
He talks about NDC thugs. I'm sure the MPP thugs in 2016, that one you might have been in a different... country on a different planet, perhaps.
So it's okay for the
let me make my point. Let me make my point. Let me make my point.
Justify the burning
Let
going
me
on?
make my
Ben,
point.
please stop this.
Let me make my point. Because you're so partisan, sometimes you can't see even beyond your nose.
Don't do it.
Will you keep quiet and let me make my point? Keep quiet and let me make my point.
Don't do that.
Hold on.
Don't do that.
Hold on.
The whole world is watching you. Don't do that.
Hold on for me. If you had listened to me yesterday,
on this platform.
If you had listened to me yesterday,
and you're going to justify it with 2016.
All right.
Don't do that.
Are you done? Are you done?
Do not. No, Ben. Do
Shall
not.
we put a
No. We are not putting a pin in this. We are not putting a pin in this.
Don't do it.
Are we done?
Do not justify the burning of EC offices.
Okay. Are you done?
Do not burning the region of.
Are you done?
Do not justify that.
I mean, the hypocrisy of people doing this is what. Will you allow me to make my point, Kojo?
In this country?
If you continue like this, I will have to let my team to let you go.
And you want to justify that?
If you continue like this, I will let my team let go of you. We can have this conversation without you.
Well, that's fine. I'm happy to go off. If that's what I'm going to sit on TV and do, I'm happy to come off.
Ghana, for the point I am making, the point I am making, wisdom, hold. The point I am making is this. I have said it, I have written on it, and I have made mention of the fact that anyone doing this should suffer the consequences of the law, regardless of where you are coming from.
So
these are dastardly. Will you keep quiet and at least let me say something? Let me say something. You're not the only one on the platform. You do this all the time. Today, I'll not allow you to do it.
No, I don't. Because
now, the point is this.
All the time. Ben, stop it. It's not right.
The point is this. Anyone who listened to me yesterday would have heard me condemn these acts. Joyce Bawumia came here in the studio. I pushed her to the wall on those matters. Everybody who watched us yesterday saw that. But the point is the hypocrisy of sometimes making it seem it is only one end. We have to find a way. I even made mention of the fact that in signing our peace pacts, we have to find a way of letting our political parties realize that they should call their supporters to order even before the elections. So that regardless of who wins, if your supporters go out there and engage in some of these barbaric and Ghanaian and patriotic acts, they should even lead for those people to be arrested and incarcerated. But let's not play politics with it and act like it is one side that does it. In 2016, did we see what happened in this country? So that is what I'm trying to point to. Now,
but
the second bit, please let me make my point. I'm not done. I never said it was right. If you had listened, stopped to at least listen to someone else, since it's a dialogue, not a monologue, you would have heard what I had to say. Now, even when you look at some of the things happening. I mean, we heard the vice president talk about a low turnout. Indeed, there was a low turnout. We know that a low turnout comes with, a lot of the time, dissatisfaction. We've seen it with the NDC. We've seen it with the MPP. He says that they lost 40% of the votes, but I beg to differ. The low turnout does not mean that necessarily because the NDC scored 6 million plus, which was akin to what they had in the last election, it means they didn't increase their votes. Those who may have voted, who abstained, could have voted either way. So this analysis, I believe, is at least not from Kojo, but I just wanted to chip that in. And the bit about continuity of distraction, like you said, Kojo, that we've opted not for moving forward, but continuity of distraction. Respectfully, I feel it is disrespectful to the Ghanaians who have voted for this resetting, whether for good or bad. In 2016, some people felt it was not the right step. Would we say that we should disrespect what collectively we had chosen in Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo? Let's watch our words. Back to you, sweetie.
Gentlemen, let's get straight into the newspapers. I'll start with the Daily Graphic, and I will avoid this headline so that peace can prevail.
Oh, there is peace.
Mahama names.
So don't avoid it.
Well, on the Daily Guide newspaper, stop blame game, Bawumia to NPP. Mahama names transition team, CBG resumes foreign currency trade. And it says NDC thugs, but I want to say alleged NDC thugs on rampage, burning and looting and so on and so forth. That's what I wanted.
I mean, those who have been proven, they are thugs.
Votes collation suspended amidst violence and irregularities, and police arrest 8 over Metro Mass vandalism. I want to start from the story on that vandalism on page 6 of the Daily Guide newspaper. The Ghana Police Service has apprehended 8 suspects following an attack on the Metro Mass Transit workshop at Sunyan in the Bono region. The individuals identified as Isaka, Abudu Isaiah, Abdul Latif Isan, Amadou Mohammed, Abdullah Adams, and Abdullah Ibrahim unlawfully entered the workshop premises where they threatened and forced workers to vacate their office. I'm particularly excited that the police have apprehended these people. Mahama names transition team. President-elect John Dramani Mahama has named members of the 2024 transition team in line with the Presidential Transition Act 2012. Let me skip to the members of the team. So the members of the 2024 transition team include Julius Deborah, that's co-chairperson, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, Fifi Fiavi Kwete, Dr. Callistus Mahama, and that's secretary, and Dr. Valerie Sawyer. And other members include Professor Kwamena Ahoy, Dr. Keso Latoforson, Mahama Yarega, Guzi Tano, and Dr. Edward Omanebuama. So that's the transition team from the camp of the NDC. Let me do 2 more stories from the Daily Guide newspaper, and then I'll come to you, gentlemen. CBG resumes foreign currency trade, and that story is on page 9 of the Daily Guide newspaper. The Consolidated Bank Ghana has announced the resumption of foreign exchange services of all its branches across the country following the restoration of its foreign currency trading license by the Bank of Ghana. And CBG in a statement said the bank had begun offering customers a seamless experience in buying and selling of foreign currency. Good news, bad news? I don't know what you think. Last story I'll do here, mobile money hits 298.6 billion Ghana cedis, according to the Bank of Ghana. Mobile money transactions in the country reached a record high of 728 million in October 2024, with a total value of 298.6 billion Ghana cedis, according to the latest data from the Bank of Ghana. And the figures represent a significant increase from the previous month when 705 million transactions were recorded at a value of 284.9 billion Ghana cedis. So that's the difference. Let me just chip in this. Gold coin price drops amid cedi gains. The Bank of Ghana, or the Bank of Ghana's gold coin, available in 3 variants, a 1 ounce coin, a half ounce coin, and a quarter ounce coin, have experienced a price reduction as of December 9th, 2024. The coins are now priced at 41,001 Ghana cedis. I believe that is for the 1 ounce coin, 20,905 Ghana cedis. I believe that would be for the quarter ounce coin, and 10,887 Ghana cedis, respectively, reflecting a decline from their November 26th rates of 45,020, 22,409, and 11,188. What do you make of this, Wisdom? Let me start with you.
So I think the president-elect has named a very solid team of patriots for his transition. These are some of the finest political talents in this nation, and it also demonstrates, how serious and determined the president is for his second coming. He means business. The likes of Honorable Dr. Atufosin, Julius Debra, General Mosquito, Fifi Fiabikwete, and the rest. It shows they mean business, and they will hit the ground running in the best interest of this nation, to ensure a smooth and also effective transition of power. And I also think that the assignment is crucial to set the stage for the president and his incoming government to succeed. So I have no doubt that they will coordinate with between various stakeholders, including government agencies and party officials and outside experts, to ensure that all aspects of the transition are managed efficiently. My only take here is, and I believe this is top agenda item for the team as well, I think they should obtain a detailed briefing from outgoing officials on pressing issues, right? Ongoing projects, including the controversial ones, and potential challenges, including those that have not yet been made public at this point. And I also believe that the team will work to better understand the current government, their existing policies and programs, including the failed ones, the failed policies, so that President Mahama's new administration can take quick and decisive action to rectify or totally discontinue some of these failed policies.
Right.
And
will that be all?
Other topic, so I also saw these reports about these attacks on the NADMO building, the Ghana Gas office, Yawaso East Municipal Assembly in Accra, several other areas across the country. I mean, that is quite unfortunate. If it is indeed true that these attacks were orchestrated by supporters of the NDC, I would say they should tone it down. I want the youth of this country to be rest assured that the president-elect, His Excellency President Dramani Mahama, has heard the voices of the youth in this election, and he will pursue policies to alleviate their economic plight. Look, they've waited for 8 years under this economically repressive regime. Now the change that they yearn for has come, so they should exercise restraint for a few more weeks. If we damage state properties, the government will have to use funds that could go to youth programs to repair these properties. So it is important to avoid any form of violence at this time. As for the victory, it is come. Ghana has attained a second independence, from this economically repressive regime. So I will urge the supporters to remain calm and patient. I am optimistic that the change they voted for, that change will bear fruit for all of them. So now is not the time to destroy properties and engage in other violent activities at this time.
Well, thank you so much, Wisdom. Kojo Poku, what's your reflection on these stories?
Thank you. Look, running an economy is a science. When you are in that science laboratory and you are doing all the right things and your opponent is telling you that you are using the wrong apparatus and you are not doing the right thing and this we need to reset and blah, 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 blah. We have seen the gains and the signs that the economy is on the right trajectory. We have seen the city gaining value. All these things were the signs that Dr. Amin and the government talked about. Like I said, Ghanaians have spoken. We've gone to an election. There's a new government. Wisdom talks about there's going to be equal opportunities. There's going to be reduction in hardship. Wisdom, look, mark it on the wall and me and you can have a wager of about $5 each. In 3 years' time, me and you will sit on this platform, right? And there will still be hardship. There will be worse hardship. There will be no equal opportunities for all because it doesn't exist. It's just things politicians like yourself tell people to make themselves feel good, okay? And where we are on the right trajectory, it will have basically taken a dip. Because look, because it's a science, you can tell everything that is being done right now, the NDC is saying reset. What it means is that the right apparatus being used to keep the country and the economy on the right trajectory is going to be stopped, okay? And the minute they touch those things, the minute they touch those apparatus and try to use others, which there isn't, this economy is going to tank again. Because, look, there are three indicators, and you have financial analysis, so you know it. Inflation, depreciation of the city, okay, and whether you can basically tax your citizens to service your debt. Now, the next 4 years, the president, John Dramani, cannot say that he's not going to borrow. He needs to finance his program, so he needs to borrow. Either he borrows heavily or tax heavily. In that sense, how do you bring your inflation down? And how do you keep an eye on the cedi depreciation if you want to basically keep inflation and borrowing in check? It's a very simple matter. It's a tough task. We felt we have a handle on it. We are using the right apparatus to move the country forward. You guys are saying reset. That's fine. Let's reset it and let's see what happens. But I can assure the good people of Ghana that there is going to be hardship in 3 years from now. There is not going to be no equal opportunities, as you claim, because the one who is president has not put a single policy on the paper to tell us how he's going to do it, okay? And the team that he has, we've seen the old face recycled, okay? They couldn't do anything 2012 to 2016. How are they going to do it now? But look, like I said, we all live to see.
Kojo,
Right.
You sound so, you've lost hope. And I'll tell you this. What
you wanted me to have hope?
Yeah, you sound like you don't have
what?
hope.
In what?
In our nation, right? This is the thing.
I have hope in the nation. I don't have hope in the NDC. That's what I don't have.
Yeah, so this is the thing. The current state of the economy, the economic hardship that is on Ghanaians today, if you're sitting on TV and telling them it's going to be worse than that, you're just scaring people, and that is not true. I can tell you things are going to get better.
Time will tell. Like
I believe
I understand some of the policies that His Excellency John Mahama wants to implement, and I can tell you for a fact that these will change the stories of most Ghanaians economically.
No problem.
Right.
No problem. Time will tell.
Mark my words.
Wisdom. I understand how. I understand why Kojo would think that it would get worse because it wasn't his party that won. Obviously, if it was NPP, then the plans they had, what he believes would be the best option for the country would be that.
Yes,
so let's bear with him. His party just lost an election.
No, but that's fine. I mean,
that's all that I asked.
I'm just saying, Kojo, I understand where you're coming from.
Time will tell.
We should not be telling the people.
Time will tell.
Okay, so Benjamin, let's do one paper for you. Gentlemen,
wisdom. We have to move on. We have to move on. Wisdom. We have to move on.
It's okay to fight a battle in election, but once the election is over, what I expected you and others to do is we all need to come together as one nation and build this country that we all love. It's not a time to. I'm telling you honestly.
Perhaps it will take time for them to come around. So let's give them time.
We need to come together and build the nation that we want.
Wisdom, thank you very much. Thank you for those thoughts. And I'll go back to what His Excellency the Vice President said yesterday. I was saluting him for being such a fine gentleman and doing what he did, even when the EC had not declared results. But both the political parties knew how it was going. He made mention of the fact that they had lost massively, but he was conceding he accepted the verdict of the Ghanaian people. And of course, he was wishing Ghana well. And I think that is what we ought to be doing. And I dare say, no administration comes for us to wish that they will not succeed, because if they don't succeed, we as a people don't succeed. So if the people have spoken, right, we pray for better Ghana, not a worse Ghana in 3 years' time. But let's get into the Daily Graphic newspaper. First transitional meeting today, President Akufo-Addo, Mahama confer. Mahama appeals for calm, condemns attacks on public property. Jinapo Oben declared winners by EC, Okwe, Efrie, others to seek redress in court. Don't despair, victory is possible in 2028. That's according to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. On the back page, Peace Council, hopeful of seamless transition process. And I'm saying again, whether the Peace Council or any other entity, in the next election, when these politicians are putting pen to paper, we have to add there that, listen, no matter what, sign in there as well that you will rein in your supporters. In fact, I was calling on them yesterday. They are all putting out ads and do this and all those gimmicks. How about adding in there, in the advertisements, pre the elections, that look, supporters who will go out and vote, if you are from my party or you are voting for my party, don't engage in some of the activities that we've seen in the last few days. Those things could foster peace moving forward. UCC Brethren Alumni Club installs solar-powered streetlights at UCC. So the National Council is hopeful of the National Peace Council is hopeful of a smooth transition process following the successful conduct of the 2024 general election. That, it said, was because systems have been put in place for that. And, quote, I am hopeful that between now and January the 7th, they should be able to clear whatever needs to be done, and then we should have a smooth process. The chairman of the National Peace Council, Reverend Dr. Ernest Edujemfi, told the Daily Graphic in an interview. Then, we've spoken about the transition already. I'll not go into that again, but page 13 is going to be my next stop. Mahama appeals for calm, condemns attacks on public property, and the president-elect, Mr. John Dramani Mahama, has appealed for calm and restraint following reports of violence and lawlessness in certain parts of the country. In a live broadcast last night, Mr. Mahama condemned the reported attacks on public facilities and installations and urged citizens to remain calm and avoid actions that could harm Ghana's institutions and democracy. Quoting him, he says, transitions from one administration to another create the impression of a vacuum in power, and certain people act in their own parochial interest instead of the national interest. He reiterated his call for the youth not to vent their frustrations through criminal enterprises, but instead channel their anger and frustration into positive efforts to rebuild the nation. Like I warned young people yesterday, if you go and do something nefarious and you are arrested, don't think anybody is going to favor you or anything. Wrong is wrong. And if you end up in the cooler, you end up in the cooler. Then there's also Jinapo Obin declared winners Okoye Afriye to seek redress in court. I saw that presser yesterday by Mike Okoye Jr. Now, the never-ending commotion that rocked some collation centers in the aftermath of the December 7 elections left a disgruntled Mike Okoye Jr. vowing to seek redress in court after his request for recollation of the Dome Kwabenya parliamentary results was challenged by his opponent, Elikplim Akurgo of the NDC. In the Ablekuma North constituency, a similar drama was at play when Okoye Afriye of the New Patriotic Party and NDC's Irabna Obin were locked up in a heated debate over pink sheets at the Greater Accra Regional Collation Center yesterday. So some of these are evolving. We also know, of course, there are also the 9 constituencies not declared by the EC, but some of them now getting into the fray. We'll see how that shapes up. And of course, for those who may be aggrieved, they know where to go. The High Court is where to go. On page 18, review process of transmitting certified election results, experts to EC. And of course, we saw some delays in there purportedly and the regional collation layer that had been added. So some governance experts have called on the EC to look into the process of how certified results at the polling level are aggregated at the national level for declaration and fashion a more convenient and faster way of transmitting election results. They said investment in technology by the Commission would help remove the bureaucratic bottlenecks and make the EC management body more effective and efficient. I'm talking about Professor Ali Duseidu, a political scientist, head of the political science department at the University of Ghana, and Dr. John Osain Kwapong, project director, Democracy Project. But the other side of this is that people also, we are all also quick every now and then to say, the EC is spending too much money. So I guess we must find some balance in there. The final bit, this is just a headline. I'll prioritize road projects in Ningo Pram Sam George, and then 20. Okay, so that story continued there. Gentlemen, quick thoughts, and then I'll give you some interesting bits of history that a professor friend of mine has shared. I'll start with you, Kojo.
Well, there's a reason why science don't believe in God, because science is facts, data, and everything that happens has to be proven. You can't pray for a better economy. You can't pray for a better Ghana. It's either the science of it happens or it doesn't. So I don't believe in all this thing of let's pray for a better Ghana. The science is in front of us, and like I said, time will tell. Let's go back onto this issue of people going to coalition centers and putting guns, harassing, and basically putting EC officials in so much pressure that they can dictate to the EC official what to say, exactly what to say. We saw a video going around with the Okankwe Central instance. You do not win parliamentary seats on social media. You do not win parliamentary seats by harassing EC officials, because if the numbers are not there, you will not be in that parliamentary chamber. It's as simple as that. And I don't know what the strategy is, and I don't know what the NDC thought, that they could just basically use bravado, okay, and harass everybody out of when the people have voted in a certain direction. That is the will of the thumb, and that is what will prevail. All these shenanigans, okay, it's not going to work, because Okankwe Central is going to go to court. All these guys are going to go to court. And these things are unprecedented. It's never happened where we've had elections in this country, and 4 days down the line, we are not able to announce parliamentary candidates because thugs are in coalition centers insisting that we disregard some ballot boxes that is being challenged. You can challenge all you want, but you can't announce the results when it's being challenged. And look, we seem to be pushing this thing that we are doing to a different level. I always keep saying, when you point one hand at somebody, look how many that points back to you. Because the trend that we are setting today is going to come back to bite us.
Wisdom, your thoughts?
Kojo, to your earlier point, I have a different opinion. I believe in the power of prayer. So I believe we can pray for a better Ghana and also take the necessary actions to make sure that we have that better Ghana. So prayer and action should work for our nation. But I think that Dr. Bawumia saying that victory is possible in 2028, he's saying that only to appease the base. I say that because I personally don't see any victory for the NPP in the next 12 years, right? Unless they make certain fundamental changes that will make the ordinary citizen feel the NPP cares about their bottom lines, about their economic freedom, about their opportunity for all. Right now, the NPP is not a party that represents all the people. They lost this election very decisively because of the arrogance of power. They didn't care much about the concerns and the voices of the average Ghanaian. They lost because of the severe economic mess that they have driven this nation into. And I fear that until they make fundamental changes in their party, it's better they don't waste money contesting another presidential election. Look, the MPP has they have some soul searching to do, right? And make peace with themselves by first acknowledging and addressing the issues. They have to start by openly acknowledging their problems of corruption and economic mismanagement, and demonstrate a genuine commitment to transparency and reform. They have to apologize, man. They have to apologize to Ghanaians and demonstrate that they can be trusted with the affairs of this nation again. Otherwise, I see them in a position for at least 12 years. Nothing is possible for them until after that time. They failed to implement sweeping anti-corruption measures when the whole country was pleading with them. And they kept telling them that, look, you guys, your best performance numbers were the worst performance numbers under President Mahama. They failed to promote an inclusive government and made our judiciary less independent. I mean, they just didn't prioritize restoring trust with the public. The sad part, you know what? The sad part of how seriously...
Brief comments, gentlemen, briefly.
Okay,
go ahead.
Quickly. The sad part of how seriously the once mighty MPP has fallen, Ben. The sad part is that some of these MPP leaders, including my very good friend and my brother here, Kojo, they are very smart people. They sometimes know their stuff inside out and outside. The only problem is that they don't always use it to benefit the entire nation. They sometimes use it to create loot and share. And that is why the good people of Ghana just fired them into opposition.
Well, I guess it strikes both ways. They say the smartest, kind of person who would do ill to you is the one who is very well educated. And I think we've seen those on both sides of the aisle. But I just want to chip in this before I go to this bit. When Kojo talks about prayers, I agree. In fact, James will tell you faith and works, and prayer on its own will not do anything if you don't apply yourself to it. But, I'm just interested when you see the candidates of both parties and attending this church and that church and prayers and donning veils and getting prayed for. What does that signal? Of course, we must back the prayers up with work. But a good old professor friend of mine sent in this message. Are you aware that the Central Region, and I don't know whether he wants me to, I have his permission to mention his name, that's why I'm not mentioning it. Are you aware that the Central Region holds 5 records as far as vice presidents are concerned? 1, they produced the very first vice president of Ghana in the person of Professor de Graft Johnson in 1979. They have produced 5 out of the 7 vice presidents of Ghana. They produced the first vice president to go on to become president in the person of His Excellency, may his soul rest in peace, John Evans Atta Mills. 3 of the 5 VIPs were university professors. And now I'm remembering a car. And now they have produced the first female vice president. That's a lot of firsts.
Yeah, especially for Nana Jane. I saw her record of the number of firsts she's had as the first vice chancellor, first person to be elected as, I think, chancellor for a public women's university. Anyway,
a female for a public university.
Yeah. Let's get into the custodian newspaper now. It's not a coup d'etat. Bawumia tells Mahama to stop rampaging NDC supporters. Let's end blame game. We talked about that. NPA, other SOEs targeted, that is state-owned enterprises, targeted for post-election attacks. There is a story here, though, that I want to really get into. It says Ghana, others to benefit from $150 million after risk participation facility. Ghana and other countries are to benefit from a $150 million facility aimed at de-risking the financial ecosystem under the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area. The other countries who are out of the commercial regions of the Trade Development Bank who are still going to benefit from this risk participation facility are Senegal, Angola, and Botswana. And this is through the instrumentality of the African Development Bank and the Trade Development Bank, who signed a risk participation agreement on the margins of the 2024 African Investment Forum Markets Days on Fridays, December 6th in Rabat, Morocco. And fiscal consolidation in Ghana, others to gain renewed focus in 2025, according to Fitch Solutions. Let me skip to this bit. On a lighter note, though, my prophecy will still come to pass. Nana Grada insists. She was saying that if the NDC wins, she'll go back to the shrine. And now she's saying that her prophecy will still come through. I don't know if there was a time frame that was given to the NDC winning and when she will leave the church and go to the shrine.
She should remain in the church.
I don't know what this woman is up to.
She can still stay.
Now, if there's anything I can do for the creative arts industry, I will. Baba Sadiq, we know he's an entrepreneur in the creative arts industry, especially in the music industry. So what is he saying? Music entrepreneur, newly elected member of parliament for Okankwe Central, Baba Sadiq, has shared his vision for the creative arts sector. In an interview on Hits FM yesterday, he said that his primary focus will be on representing the people of Okankwe Central, while also leveraging opportunities to support the creative industry. Whatever you can do for that industry will be well appreciated. There's one last story I want to get to in the custodian newspaper, and then I'll come to you, gentlemen. Of course, the Joint Transition Team meets today. My economic reforms will give Ghanaians basic needs. That is according to President-elect John Dramani Mahama. And he's pledged that economic reforms during his second term will empower Ghanaians to meet their basic needs. He emphasized that the 24-hour economy policy would be central to his vision, aiming to create well-paying, sustainable jobs. And this was after he was declared winner of the 2024 elections. Gentlemen, what do you make of these stories quickly, and then we can move on to other stories? Let me start with you, Wisdom.
So on the fiscal consolidation topic, I skimmed through that report from Fitch Solutions.
Right.
That fiscal consolidation across sub-Saharan African countries, including Ghana. And the main point that jumped out to me was that countries like Ghana will continue to experience, higher fiscal shortfalls in the coming year. And that is why I think we need a fiscal council, as recommended by the Institute of Economic Affairs. If you think about Ghana's current economic crisis and how often we have to run to the IMF for bailouts, this clearly shows that we may be failing as a nation when it comes to pursuing, sound economic policies. We have no buffers against global shocks, and sometimes we react to it knee-jerk decisions that further make the situation worse for the country. And so, yes, I think the whole nation needs to press that reset button. Ghanaians have voted for that. And let's pursue sound economic policies, including the 24-hour economic policy, But these are policies that are necessary to build a resilient and a robust economy. We are blessed with so many natural resources, yet we can't leverage that to build a formidable economy, sweetie, and ensure that the average citizen has the opportunity to succeed. That is concerning, sweetie. So yes, we need to take drastic fiscal measures now so we can better weather the economic storm next year.
Thank you. Wisdom. Kojopoku, your take on these?
Well, look, Baba Sadiq has not won anything. His declaration will be challenged in court by Honorable Patrick Bawumia. He's the winner. The documents, the coalition, and everything, even his own, Baba Sadiq's own documents that he put out, is in contract to what was declared. Okay, so look, he can't do anything for anybody because he's not going to be an MP. He's basically going to be challenged in court. That is one seat I will bet. Let me finish. That's one seat I will bet my whole money on that it will not stand. Honorable Patrick Bawumia is the winner of that constituency.
Dr. Bawumia as well, my brother.
But let me make my point. Look, this issue of physical cancer will not help anybody. We know what the issues are. If you did not know what the issues are, which clearly we don't see it on any paper, all we keep hearing is 24-hour economy, an economic program that has not been costed. Okay, we clearly heard it from the president that he doesn't know how much it's going to cost. He doesn't know when it's going to be start. He clearly admitted that it's not going to start from the 8th of January. It's going to take some time to kick off. We are building our hopes of this economy that has doubled the last time that he was in power, right?
Okay.
He's going to come in and gamble with a policy that he's now going to do a feasibility for.
Okay.
We don't have a problem with it.
All
right. Thank you, Kojo. Our time is up. But let's leave.
I'll conclude briefly. We don't have the problem with that. All I keep saying on this platform and going forward is that the beautiful thing on our side is time.
Thank you. Ben.
Yes, I'll just wrap with headlines. But let me just say, it's interesting sometimes when we all want policy frameworks for, as of now, where is the policy framework really for free SHS? When in 2015, before 2016, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was talking about free SHS. And if we all should have policy and exact amounts, I'm just asking the ordinary Ghanaian, where was the policy and the in-ground and how much we'll spend on free SHS in 2015? We like selective amnesia.
Are you saying that
wisdom, please, let me do this. The Ghanaian publisher, Stop Rampaging, NDC supporters told. There's also police investigate attack at Ursula's residence, the Ghanaian publisher. Over 2 million MPP voters in 2020 didn't vote in 2024. It's the whole bit about they are our voters and the claims without realizing that Ghanaians can shift anytime, regardless of which party. The new publisher, Nahu Kozam, blame games hits shocked MPP. Big boys fingered in anger pictured there. Kenneth Oriata, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, party chairman Stephen Ntim, and the national security minister. Daily analysts, I think I'll just do. Okay, so it says Julius Deborah heads Mahama's transition team, co-head. And the New Center, One Ghana Movement condemns post-election violence. That's it for me. Sweetie, would you like to take us away?
Yes, thank you so much, Kojopoku and Wisdom Dogwe. I wish I could give you some time to, conclude, but we do have to go, hopefully next week. And that's it for the news review segment. Please stay. Sports comes up next. Mufta Nabila Abdullahi will be serving you.